Well, this week, again, it is the Grado week. Got the hot plate of doom out. Let's crank that up. Let's get that set to, let's say 90 degrees. Get that warming up nicely. Get the silicone on there. Right, let's get this open. So this is the Prestige SR80, the most metal of all the Grados, I assume, with the E being, you know, a bit more clubby and maybe chewing its face off. But these are the X. These are serious. Let's have a look. Right, so, ooh, so we've got a new Grado. My God, everyone's been complaining about the Grado cables and like sending them to me saying I hate this cable. I think Grado have actually listened. It looks like the cable's changed. So let's have a look. I'm not giving them good points for this. I can tell already that they've thought about it, they've tried to fix it, and they haven't done their testing. Because what they've done is they've covered this in like a Tech Flex style cable braid. And I know from personal experience that when this rubs against your clothes, you're going to hear that in there. They should have gone for a cotton. So nearly Grado, nearly. But on your more expensive ones, I'm expecting to see, if you're going to do this, I'm expecting to see a cotton or a softer nylon. But this stuff is, don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, you don't want that rubbing against your clothes and being transferred through to the ear caps. Design fail. They've also got a padded headband. Look at that. Rather than just a strip of leather. So they have, you know, they've updated these. These are nicely updated. So we're going to do a detachable cable mod on these. I suspect it's just the same as the standard SI80Es or Is. So we're going to start by removing the pads, then remove the ear caps. I'm just bending the yoke out from the little holes that are in there to unhook it, and get it over the edge there. That's released. So those come off pretty straightforwardly. And get that out. And the other one, and then over there. Alright, so we've removed the nice new headband, but yeah, let's look at this while we've got it off. So it looks like some kind of synthetic leather, but yeah, they've gone with, you know, they've been stuck with the same thing for a long time, and everyone else has moved on. So yeah, it's good to see them updating. I haven't tested this cable, so I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet to see if it would be a bit scratchy, but in my experience on other headphones, like we put this stuff on DJ headphones because you're using those in a high noise environment, and the chance you're hearing that is pretty low. But it's going to give it that protection because it's very good for abrasive protection. It won't get snagged and stuff because the other ones tend to crack and fray. It'd be interesting once we cut this open to see if it's the same cable underneath, just covered. But as I said, it's a bit microphonic. So on where you're listening to something. Yeah, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that if it touches your clothes. So no good for walking along. Right. Okay. 3 generations of sound. John, Jonathan, and dyslexia. Right. Don't know what that one was called. Okay, so we're going to wham these up. Stick those on there. I'm going to cover them up with something just to keep the heat in. And we're going to leave them there for 10 or 15 minutes while they warm up, because basically these have got 2 parts, this half and the inner half held together with some kind of hot glue, so once they're warm enough that will just separate out. I'm heating them up, even though the glue is probably closer to here. I'm heating them up from this side because I don't want to get the driver as hot as the rest of it if I can avoid it. I've got the hotbed set to 90 degrees, which should be relatively safe. Tuck those in, and again 90 degrees isn't quite enough to melt a bubble wrap, so that should be safe. Alright, we'll leave it there for a bit. Right, hopefully these should be warmed up now. So, ooh, yeah, nice and warm. Yeah, got some movement. Alright, so we're in on that one. I think these are the easiest ones to get apart, these SR80s and SR60s, the plastic ones. They come apart quite nicely. So there we go. 90 degrees, 10 minutes, cooked. Can turn that off now. Let's have a look inside. So similar construction to the other 80s in the line. They just seem to have updated the cable So you've got a bit of shrink over the end of this to stop it from fraying, which is nice. Let me just warm up the soldering iron and we'll get that unsoldered. Get that to about 400. Just move that out of the way. So, yeah, as you can see, it's just bog standard hot snot holding these together, hot glue. So they do use a different adhesive on these than they do on the more expensive ones, and this stuff softens much more easily. And it doesn't kind of go hard over time, so it's not quite as fancy an adhesive, but it's nice from my point of view because it makes it much easier. So we're going to make this have a detachable cable. We're going to reuse the existing cable. So I'm going to have a look and see what sockets we've got that are going to fit in there nicely. So I've got the soldering iron heating up, but what I might do is not unsolder these and just solder the existing wires directly to the socket. That might be an easier way of doing it. No point making more work for myself. So I'm going to snip the wire about there. I should be able to remove that. If we autopsy this, don't know if you can see this, but it is actually the standard Grado cable with some Tech Flex over it. So I don't know if they're... I don't know if that's better. Oh no, it is different. It is different. No, I take it all back. No, because normally they have like a thick tube, don't they? But this has got more standard wire with the rubber tightly over the bits of wire inside, and then cable braid over the top. So yes, it is a completely new wire, not just a wrapped version of their existing wire. So that is interesting. They've changed their cable design after many years, and lots of people moaning. They've gone to a more standard cable, but to be honest, they could have done away with this cable braid. I don't think that's adding anything. Really, it's probably quite a nice wire underneath. Well, not probably pretty standard. It's like a pretty standard headphone cable underneath. But the cable braid makes it look fancy, but doesn't make it sound as good. And microphonics, ergonomics, that kind of stuff, it's all just as important as the quality of the cable. Okay, right, so let's tin this. Let's get some solder. So what I've done is I've just stripped off the wires a little bit. Now I'm going to tin them. We might just get a bit more light in here. Boop. Right, just tinning the end of the wires. And obviously, usually I would use a fume extractor for this, but it doesn't look good on video. So just don't breathe. Don't breathe in the smoke. Okay, where's my little cleany do? That's excellent. Right, now we have our socket. This one's negative, so blue wire, I'm going to go with negative. So that's the negative one attached. Let's attach the positive. Okay, so that's those soldered on. Ah, still hot. Alright, I'm just going to Dremel off. Or can I just shave that off with a knife? Something like. Just going to take the corners off just so it fits in the round body a bit better. Yes, what I'm aiming for is to be able to get this to fit in, and then us to get a thread or two of the nut on there, so the nut will hold it in place. Okay, let's get the little nut out, and then we might have to clearance it, just make the hole in the outer casing just a bit bigger to fit this nut. There we go. So we got a couple of turns on there. That's sitting nice and flush, and with the nut on there, that's firmly in there. You know, we're going to put a dab of hot glue. We put it back together, but that nut's going to stop this from going back together. So what I need to do is just get a Dremel and just take a little bit of material out of there, just so that this slides in nicely. Yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do. Alright, so now I just need to rinse and repeat on the other driver. Then we'll mod the cable, then happy days. It'll be all done. Okay, let's get rid of this shmoo. Okie dokie. Just removing the old hot glue. Might as well put new stuff on there. And again, I'm going to cut the cable in roughly the same place. Pull that through. There we go. Strip those wires off. Just so you know, as far as I can tell, Grado always seem to use blue for the negative side. So if you're modding a set, you're not sure which way around they go. That's what I would go with. So, have a look. Where's my hot glue going to go? Oh, I see it. It's jumped off the desk. Right, let's get that warming up as well. Ready for the reassembly. Right. Okay. Oh, I've got too much stuff on my desk now. And again, going to tin the wires first. Get the socket out. There we go. So that's that socket on. Oh yeah, I need to shave off the corners, don't I? Shave them corners. Shave them. If you're wondering what this is I'm using, it is an extra long scalpel. When I was in university, one of the guys had one of these, and I'd only ever seen the normal size scalpels. And he's like, yes, look out for the long handles. And yeah, it makes all the difference if you get the long handled version. I don't know, I've got relatively big hands, so the little ones aren't quite long enough. But yeah, the long handled ones, extra good. I know in America they prefer the X-Acto knife, but I love a scalpel. I think it's because the blades are cheap. I'm a student flint. Right, there we go. Is that done? Let's reinsert the socket, get a couple of threads on. Excellent. Right, I'm going to stick a dab of hot glue in there just to stop the socket from moving around. Okay, and then reassembly, I suppose. So if we just do the same that they did, I think they just put a rim of hot glue and then jam it together. So let's do that. Quick before it cools. There we go. That's all right. Clean up the little wispy bits that are on there. And then repeat. That one didn't go quite as neatly. A bit of cleaning up. It's still warm, I'm just going to get some of the excess glue out of there. Okay, so that's pretty much the ear cups done. So now we just need to convert the cables. So I've put 2.5mm sockets in there, and I need to put 2.5mm plugs on the cable. Go over there, I can turn off the hot plate. So I'm not really doing that. Skippity doo does, skippity day. Okay, let me just grab some 2.5mm sockets. Alright then, so we've got the original cable here. I'm going to remove the little endy-doos. And then trim some of this back. Now then, this TechFlex style stuff is prone to fraying once it's been cut. So you really need to seal the ends somehow, usually with heat. So I'm just going to do that. I'm hoping I can just... Oh, does this run out? Just burn the ends like that. It's enough to seal it and stop it from fraying. Again, sliding the scissors in between the braid and the wire, pulling that back a bit, chopping that off, sealing, that's all good. Okay, are these going to fit on there? That's the question. Just, that's good. Alright, so you've got to put the bum on first. Just going to slide this down a bit and then we can slide it back up afterwards. Get that over there, get this stripped. Yeah, so this is more like a traditional headphone cable where you've got rubber moulded over the wires, you've got paper here wrapped around the wires. So this is very similar to how Bear Dynamic make their cables currently, so they're probably, I don't know if they're made in the same factory, but same style. So it'd be interesting to see if they change the cable on their other models as well. So I'm just going to get that in the little clampy do. I probably want to make the negative one a bit shorter. Okay, tin these. So this is a little 2.5mm 2-pole jack that I'm putting on there. These ones are a little bit awkward to solder because you've got nowhere to really put the I did that the wrong way around. You want the positive shorter and the negative longer. See, everyone makes mistakes. I've done this 100 times and I still mess it up occasionally. So I reckon I want that about that long. Again, I'd like to reiterate that I'm not a cable technician. I am a designer. Someone else would normally do this. Someone who's better than me. Get that on. That's my excuse anyway. I don't do it as often as I should probably. Right, I'm going to pre-tin the connector. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about getting, because the contact is so close to the thread on the jack, I'm a bit worried about getting solder on the thread. So I'm just going to wrap some tape around some PTFE tape around the thread so that the solder can't stick to it. No, I managed to get solder on the thread. But let's hope it's not too much. Let's try doing that up. Woohoo, that is hot. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. That's okay. What I need is a little bit of shrink. Here we go. So I can hold that without marking it. There we go. Right, that's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of hot glue and a bit of shrink over this so that it holds the cable braid and the jack and everything all together nicely. Alright, let's get a shrink. Let's warm up the old glue. Oh, the glue gun's still on. Happy days. And while it's still hot, I'm going to kind of mould it into a nicer shape. Just because it's a little bit lumpy there. Hot, 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 hot. There we go. So that's a 2.5mm jack on the end of the original one, which is nice. Just need to do the same again. Rinse and repeat. I'm going to add a little bit of flux this time, just see if that makes it better. There we go, that's gone pretty smoothly. It's all soldered on nicely. Just let that cool down this time. Woohoo, hot. Okay, a bit of shrink on there so that I can grab it with the pliers and that will stop it from getting all scratched up when I tighten this up, hopefully. That's all done up there. So, just going to take up the tension in this. Okay, right, I'm going to put a bit of hot glue all around there. There's our extra bit of shrink. Ah, there it is. Right, there you go. So that's got 2.5s on the end of the standard one, and they also wanted this cable shortening to 1.5 meters. I think it is 1.5 meters, so I might not have to do that. Let's have a look. What is the new cable length? 1. Ah, it's close enough. What's that? 1.7? 1.8? Should I bother shortening it? Yeah, because they want a right angle cable. So let's make this 1.5 meters. Yeah, interesting. See how they've changed the cable. Hold on, my blowtorch has run out of gas. Apples and pears, apples and pears. Woohoo! It's a bit right, explode now. Woohoo! There we go. Okay, and we want a right angle jack on this one. So I'm just going to strip this down a bit. Just find a right angle jack. It's possibly too thick for a Nutric one. Don't know, I'll have a look. I'll grab one. No, the hole on the Nutric jacks is too small. It's going to have to be one of these slightly fatter ones. Cool. Let's have a look, see if I can squoze it down with some tape. No, I don't think that fits. No, so yeah, we'll have to do the same as the other end where we join it on with a bit of shrink tube. So pop that on first. So again, blue negative as far as I'm aware. Either way, it'll work. You use blue as negative, and then red for right and white for left. Okay, let's tin this bad boy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist the two blue ones together because they're essentially going to become one where they join the jack. It'll make soldering it a little bit easier. There we go, so they're all tinned. And this jack, as you can see, it's got a little cable clampy thing at the back there. Sometimes you want to trim that off, but on this occasion we'll use that. And I'm going to just open it up so I can get the cable in there easily. Oh, that's sharp. So let's get these. Just going to pre-tin the contacts. These are quite nice ones. They've got individually staked things and then they're shrunk over the top. Nice. Not particularly expensive, these connectors, but they're good quality. No, these are going to have to be a bit shorter. Let's just take that off again. So I'm just soldering these the other way around so that they end up underneath the wire when I poke it into the cable clamp. Oh, you see what I did there? I forgot to put any shrink tube on here before I attach this on. That is a bitch. Fail. Alright, this is how you undo this. Open the clamp. Unsolder the wires. Oh, I did a really good job there as well. I had one of those days. Oh, alright, let me get some shrink. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. If you need shrink on there, don't forget to put it on first. Otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. Oh yeah, that's all frubed now. I need to probably start again. Well, aren't we learning some valuable lessons? And you'll notice there's some lumps and bumps under there where the hot glue is. because it's hot glue, just keep hitting it with the hot air gun, and that will melt to a liquid and form into a nice smooth shape. So you can see it smoothing out there. There we go, that looks nice now. And you've got to be careful not to overheat this cable braid, because you can melt it if you're not careful. And there we go, right angle cable and detachable cable doodads. So let's put that all back together and then we're done. Oh, look at all this mess. Right, okay, so these are those. Okay, SR80X with iron detachable cable. Oh yeah, it's so good. There you go. Look at that sexy bit of kit. So that was quite interesting. Anyway, if you got any questions, stick them in the thing. Like and subscribe if you're into Grados, especially. It seems like I've got a whole pile of them to do, including some pretty expensive ones. So yeah, check back if you want to see some more getting done. All right. Bye.